This video is brought to you by AztecaSoccer.com, your one-stop shop for all the latest and greatest soccer gear. Be sure to use coupon code SR4U at checkout to receive 10% off any order of $75 or more. Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Nike Magista Obra in the latest Electro Flare colorway. Now inside the box, they do include a string bag to go along with the shoes themselves. The string bag is black in color with Volt yellow strings. You're going to find Volt Nike football branding on one side and a Volt Nike swoosh on the other. Other than that, all you're going to find inside the box, as you guys can see, are the shoes themselves. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at this very unique colorway of the Nike Magista Obra. So in this video, we are of course going to be taking a closer look at the colorway itself. We're going to go over tech specs, performance details, the weight of these things, as well as how they fit and feel on feet. So if you are interested in learning more, please stick around and watch the entire video. If you're interested to pair these for yourself, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you will find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $275 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now this is of course part of the Electro Flare pack, so it does have that paint splatter graphic going across the upper, mainly on the kind of rear half of the shoe. The paint splatter is a Volt yellow color, which we often see as a bright accent on a lot of Nike shoes. So you're going to find that Volt yellow in the paint splatter, the outline of the Nike swoosh, half of the colors in the laces as well as the collar, and then of course the majority of the sole plate and heel counter are Volt yellow in color as well. The rest of the upper is what they call dark citron, and it does have somewhat of a color change effect. I would describe it as kind of an army green that has almost a goldish orange type of color change to it. It's very, very subtle, definitely not the same as what you're gonna find on the Superfly that kind of changes from blue to purple. This is more of a kind of semi-metallic gold slash dark army green color, which honestly looks pretty cool. This reminds me a lot of the launch color of the Elastico Superfly, for those that can remember back about a year or so. But nonetheless, really cool looking colorway, definitely unique if that's what you're going for. I like that it does have a darker color to the upper, and then of course the sole plate is a bright Volt yellow with some black as well. So that really is going to be super noticeable when you're actually running in these shoes. The mid layer of the actual Flyknit is kind of just the same as the outside pattern, so there's no internal coloring, so it's just a combination of Volt yellow and black within the knitted Flyknit, and of course your Magista branding in Volt yellow going down the back. So that is pretty much it as far as the colorway is concerned. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. In terms of performance, the Magista Obra is a pretty well proven shoe at this point. The main reason why you'd pick these up is of course for the Flyknit upper and the mid-cut design. This is a shoe that offers a thin feel, but is a little bit more padded and just slightly more comfortable out of the box in comparison to something like the Superfly. The Superfly is for somebody who would want a very thin, more of a barefoot sensation on the ball, whereas this is, like I said, still on the thinner side, but is going to provide much more of a padded sensation and a more structured feel in general on your feet, not to mention being an entirely different shape as well. So all the parts here covered in Nike skin feature a much more dense pattern of Flyknit material. Really no stretch here whatsoever. You're also going to find brio cables that run in the pattern from the base of the sole into the lace holes. So when you pull the laces tight, it pulls on those brio cables and allows for a really snug, secure sensation. Very similar system to what you're going to find on the Superfly, just in a different layout. It does have a padded liner on the inside, which, like I said, does add for more of a slightly cushioned touch on the ball, along with the more dense, more structured, thicker layer of Flyknit that you won't get on the Superfly 4. And of course, you do have that Nike skin covering that really doesn't provide any extra grip on the ball. It's just better than having nothing there at all and leaving the shoe as completely exposed Flyknit. And of course, like all the top end models from Nike, it does feature ACC all conditions control, acting as your wet control element. Now, the parts of the shoe that aren't covered in Nike Skin feature a different variety of Flyknit, a variety that's actually elasticated. You're going to find that running through the middle of the shoe as well as in the collar itself. Very stretchy, as you guys can see. A lot of people ask if it stretches permanently. That's not something that I've experienced. Will it get a little bit bigger over time? Absolutely, but for the most part, you don't really have to worry about it overstretching on you. It bounces back pretty good. So when you put this on, it's going to make for putting them on a little bit easier just because it is elasticated. And then once you do get it on, you're going to find that it's going to stretch out and then bounce back to its original shape, kind of squeezing to the shape of your foot, not tightly, but kind of giving you the sensation of a pair of socks. And then of course, when you pull those laces tight, everything is locked firmly in place. As far as that mid-cut design is concerned, it really doesn't offer any performance benefits. It's more there to provide a certain type of feel that is a little bit different than a traditionally low-cut soccer shoe. But like I said, nothing that's actually better than a traditionally low-cut soccer shoe. It's really just an extra layer of material around your ankle to give you a slightly more seamless sensation in terms of how the shoe feels on your feet. Feels like it flows from your leg, or your ankle, I should say, onto your foot, as opposed to just being directly strapped to your foot, if that makes any sense. Again, it's kind of going with that sock-like feel type of concept. And of course, it has a unique look. Some people like how it looks, some people dislike it. That's something you kind of have to determine for yourself. On the inside of the shoe, you are going to find a synthetic leather liner that's completely smooth, but it is there in the heel. The insole is fully removable. I'll give you guys a quick look at that. Mesh liner on top, perforations throughout. It's just a single layer of this yellow foam. Doesn't look like anything too fancy, but it does in fact get the job done. You have a nice big external heel counter in plastic, which is really, really nice. And then moving on to the rest of the sole plate, it is a thicker plastic material, but has some decent flexibility to it as well after a couple hours of break-in time. So just keep that in mind. If it does feel a little bit stiff at first, it does become more flexible. And then of course the Magista stud pattern, that is very similar to what you're gonna get with the Tiempo line, minus of course the bladed studs in the heel. So they're all conical in shape aside from the two center support studs and the bladed toe pick stud. But for the most part, they have a fairly kind of small profile or slim profile to them, so they dig into the ground quite nicely and provide good grip overall. Is it as aggressive as what you're going to get from the Mercurial line or even the Hypervenom line? Not really, but it's nice and stable. You get good all-around traction. You still have that freedom to twist and pivot, and it's just one of the better stud patterns on the market, in my opinion, in terms of something that just does everything well on firm natural grass. So if you're looking for something that just works really, really well, you shouldn't have any issues with the stud pattern here on the Magista Obra. So that's pretty much it in terms of performance and tech specs, things that you should know about this particular shoe. And we're gonna move on next to a quick weigh-in so we can see how lightweight these guys are. In terms of weight, the Magista Obra is lighter than you might expect based on how it looks. So I'm gonna weigh this pair for you today in real time using this scale. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. We're gonna throw it on the scale and you can see that they weigh in at 7.4 ounces, the equivalent of 209 grams, which is right in the same ballpark as a pair of Superfly 4s. So if you were trying to decide between the Obra and the Superfly, just know that the weight difference between the two is extremely minimal. So it really shouldn't be the deciding factor. It should be all about what type of fit and what type of feel that you're looking for from your shoes. If you want something that's going to be a little bit more soft feeling on your feet, and of course something that's going to provide a more padded touch on the ball, then maybe the Magista Obra is the better option over the Superfly 4, which is essentially going to be the exact opposite of that. All right, so here is a look at the Magista Obras on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock laces that come with the shoes. And on my right foot, I have a pair of black with neon yellow dots SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. You find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, if you haven't worn a mid-cut model from Nike before, it's not so much that they're uncomfortable at the start, it's just that they fit and feel a lot different, mainly in the heel area, in comparison to a traditionally cut soccer shoe. So you're kind of just taking a couple hours to really get used to how they feel before they start to feel the way they're supposed to, if that makes any sense. If you wear these straight into a game, wear them straight into a shooting session or something like that, you're surely going to have issues with discomfort. You may even get blisters if you wear them for long enough. But like I said, if you take things slowly, you You shouldn't have too many issues with discomfort, and they should feel pretty comfortable for you, like I said, after a couple hours of wear. In regards to fit, it does have a nice snug fit to it. It definitely isn't as tight as what you're going to find with the Superfly 4, but still nice and snug on your feet, which is really, really nice. The Flyknit upper is soft and flexible and really doesn't become softer over time. It's just something that, like I said, you kind of get used to in terms of how it feels. Has a nice kind of slight padded sensation to it as well on your feet. In regards to width, they're going to be suitable for most foot types. But they're definitely not what I would consider to be excessively wide. And because of the Flyknit construction with the Brio cables, they really don't stretch much either. So the way they fit from right out of the box is the way they're going to fit for their entire lifespan. So if you don't normally struggle with the width in your soccer shoes, you won't have any issues with the Magista Obra. But if you generally require your shoes to stretch a lot in order to fit you comfortably, you may want to look elsewhere. In regards to sizing, I'm wearing a size 9.5 US, which is a half size larger than I wear in most shoes, a 9 US. So these do run about a half size small. So if you are looking to order a pair, I would strongly recommend going a half size up in order to achieve the best possible fit. All right, guys, that is it for my review of the Electro Flare Nike Magista Obra. If you're looking for more info, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find a written review. You'll find high quality images of this exact pair that I took myself to give you a better idea as to how these actually do look in person, as well as buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $275 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding the Electro Flare Magista Obra, leave them down below in the comments and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.